Hi, welcome back. Episode 3. I tried to do this last night and my computer froze, so we're just going to take that as a sign and scrap that and start again. It is loud in here. Today I cleaned 3 houses, and when I got to my second house, there was a rescue dog there I was super excited to meet. I love St. Croix. I went 9 times in like 5 years. I love St. Croix. One of my dogs is from St. Croix, the U.S. Virgin Islands. And I have friends. I have a ton of friends there, and one of them runs a rescue. And so one of my clients got one of their dogs, this cute little dog they named Stella. It's a little Chihuahua. So I was super excited to meet this dog. And then, of course, I was driving around thinking about all of the stuff. So I went outside when I was done, and I was putting my stuff in my car. I left my car on. It took me an hour and a half to clean the house. My car was just in their driveway on for an hour and a half. I didn't notice it was on when I got out of my car, and so it's so busy in my head. So I did that today. I left my car on for an hour and a half just sitting in a driveway. So I cleaned 3 houses today. I cleaned 4 yesterday. I talked about how every day I just fight to just, make it to the next day, and how I just try to be an adult. So yesterday I sustained myself with sweet peppers, hummus, and a little bit of sourdough. And on days like today where my brain is too loud, the idea of cooking just makes me exhausted, and I don't want to do it. And I don't know if other people suffer with this with ADHD, but I love food. I love food. I love all food. I am 100% a carnivore. I said it before. I would like to be a vegetarian in theory. I'd never be a vegan. Cheese should come from milk. You guys are gross. I like meat. I just like meat. I don't want to eat the fake meat. And that rhetoric that, cows, they're destroying the planet with the food for the cows and stuff. Man, that fake processed meat, it's just, ew. They destroy the rainforest for soy to make fake burgers. Ridiculous. But I love food. I love mean food too. I love foie gras. It's one of the meanest products on the planet, and it makes me happy. I love food. But what tends to happen with the way that I live is I like food for a while. So there was one like 8-month period where I ate salmon. I ate it sometimes twice a day for lunch and for dinner. I love salmon. I don't love it as much as I used to. And there was 6 months where every morning I woke up and I ate scrambled cheesy eggs. They were super. I make a really good scrambled cheesy egg. I would wake up, I'd make them for breakfast. I'd go about my day. And like 6 months and one day, I thought about the cheesy eggs and I almost got sick. Because I eat things that are easy to make that I really like until I legitimately can't eat them anymore. People constantly are like, why don't you do Factor? I did it twice. I did it for a long time. The first time I did it wrong too. I was ordering them and shoving them in the freezer. I didn't realize they were supposed to be in your fridge, and then you just zap them for 2 minutes. So I was doing them wrong. But I ate them. For months. And now when I walk in to clean a house, if they do Factor meals, I know the smell and I get nauseous again. I eat food until I can't eat it anymore. And around the time that I stopped eating cheesy eggs, because eggs are expensive, after cooking every day for 6 months, my brain just decided it didn't want to cook anymore. And so I have struggled to make myself cook for a while now. And I'll buy food, I throw it away. More often than not, I throw it away. I've gotten really good about eating fruit. And I said this, man, I hadn't eaten an orange in I don't know how long. And then I got those Sumo mandarins or whatever from Costco, and I ate one. And I was like, girl, you are skirting scurvy. You've gone so long without an orange. So now I eat the fruit I buy, but I still struggle to cook. So I was like, where was I going with this? Oh, like the sweet peppers and the hummus and the Nilla wafers. Nilla wafers, that's what I had yesterday. Today I had sourdough. Yesterday I had Nilla wafers. Because I had a migraine 2 days ago, and the only thing my body wants to eat when I have a migraine is Nilla wafers. And I don't know why, but I wanted Nilla wafers. So hopefully today I can actually cook real food. And most of my money, it goes to DoorDash. I was talking about my Nikes, but if I'm honest about it, I spend an outrageous amount of money ordering food. Because once I'm home, we talked about this, and my butt sits down, I stop doing anything because brain, butt attached. So that's why I'm doing this right now, because I knew I needed to do it right as soon as I got home from work. So I'm hoping I can actually eat today because I don't just want to sustain my life on sweet peppers, especially because if you eat enough roughage, I promise you're going to go to the bathroom. Everybody poops. Everybody poops. So the world's been wild. Lots of stuff going on. When I was doing the thing last night, I was talking about how there's 3 movies we need to quote all the time. Red Dawn, man. Just walk around with your hand in the air shouting Wolverine, right? Because, we should not be siding with Russia. That's a great movie. Red Dawn, the original with Patrick Swayze. C. Thomas Howell. I had a cat named C. Thomas Howell. She died in April of 2023. Great cat. Great cat. She was a she. Charlie Sheen is also a she. I name my animals like a jerk. Freddie Mercury is a boy, but that's whatever. So Red Dawn, right? Wolverines, because we don't want to be communist. And I don't even know that we can call Russia communist since they're not the USSR, but whatever. We don't want to be that bad. Empire Records, right? Damn the Man Saved the Empire. Because 1, great movie. 2, great line. And damn the man, right? 100%. And third movie, PCU. We're not going to protest. PCU, Jeremy Piven, man, I love him. That's one of my favorite movies he did. If I'm honest about it, though, Very Bad Things. If you've seen that movie, it's got Jon Favreau, it's got Cameron Diaz, it's got the dude from Home Alone, the taller robber guy with the big nose, not Joe Pesci, Marv. It's got Christian Slater. It's such a good movie. Dead Hooker, all the things. That's my favorite Jeremy Piven movie. But PCU, right? This kid goes to college to do like his freshman, just walk around to see if he wants to go there. And at this college, PCU, politically correct university, and everybody on this campus is protesting, right? Like the feminists, the hardcore feminists, also kind of portrayed as lesbians, like masked lesbians or whatever. The hippies, I'm going to call it Black Lives Matter for lack of a better term, but it was kind of like the Black Panthers. It was just the black people. You've got the athletes, you've got the nerdy, like you just got all these different, and they're all fighting each other, right? They're all protesting against everybody else on this campus. And at the end of the movie, they realize, and I think it's the mom from, what is that movie, or that show? There was oh, this is going to drive me nuts, where it's about the rich family that loses all their money. They brought it back. I think it starts with an 8. In any case, I'm going to Google this while we're talking about it. So at the end of the movie, the principal, or the dean, who is the mom from Arrested Development, I think it's Arrested Development, like the grandma, right? Like the mom of Jason Bateman. It is her, bet. So that's what I do. So she's giving a speech. It is. She's the president of the school. Man, S my D. I'm so good at this game. So, and she was the mom on Archer, R.I.P. And R.I.P. to that show. Archer satire. God, more people should understand satire. So she has this, she's giving this speech, and they're all there, and she ends up talking bad about every group of people, and they snuck a mic behind her so everybody could hear it. And Jeremy Piven, it's the Bird Show, right? I don't know, anybody's seen it, right? So he ends up going up behind her, and he's like, we're not going to protest, right? And they start chanting, we're not going to protest. And they weren't protesting each other anymore. They were protesting her. Protest the establishment, right? And I was thinking about it because Senate didn't pass that law about trans women playing in women's sports. They did not pass the law. And I was thinking about that because I was discussing it with this dude, and he's very much pro-Trump, and that is what it is. I really have been trying to be rather forgiving about people and their opinions. I'm just trying not to jump down people's throats, because I used to think that every time I cried in an argument, I lost the argument. And I do sometimes feel like that. Like when my emotions get the best of me, I lose my selling point. One of the biggest ways to lose a selling point is to yell or put someone down. Or one of my favorite things, man, is your privilege is showing. You lost the argument. All the points you were making are done, right? You start using all caps. Your argument's done. You've lost it. Your emotions are getting the best of you. You know, I know that privilege is real. I think most people do. I think that the idea that you can't understand how certain things afford you things that other people don't have the opportunities for, that's just ridiculous, right? But I can't look at my best friend and tell him that minorities are more oppressed by the police because his 20-year-old white cousin was shot and killed by a police officer who had killed someone 2 years prior to that, a different motorist, right? And she was killed because she was told to get out of a car and she had a bag of chips in her hand. 20 years old, dead, right? Killed by the cops. So it's very hard to relay the privilege of him being white with the police when that happened in his life. It's just hard, right? So we just don't know what people have been through. So just, I've been trying to be understanding and forgiving and all that stuff. But I was talking to this guy, and the trans people in women's athletics came up. And I'm not going to lie. If you are sensitive, if you don't like to hear hard truths, man, I don't know that these are hard truths, but I'm going to tell the truth. I'm going to tell my truth. And I got to tell you, I'm not racist. I'm not a bigot. I am not a hater. I do not hate anybody. I am all for everybody having equal rights. I am for trans people having their hormones. I said it in the other one when I was talking about how I don't think children should have access to hormone blockers. And I also said my opinion means nothing. I'm neither a parent nor trans. My opinion means nothing, right? So I am going to say some opinions in this, and you might not agree with them. And if you are offended, that's your choice. I don't mean any of this offensively. I am having a conversation so I don't leave my car running for an hour and a half tomorrow because I forgot to turn it off. So, I was talking to him, and I told him I do not believe that trans women should play women's sports. I don't. As someone who has played co-ed sports her entire life, men are stronger than me, and they are faster than me, and I don't know what's happening here. Something is happening. So, Title IX was a big deal for women, and being pro-woman doesn't make me anti-trans. It doesn't, and it doesn't make me a bigot. But we fought for a lot of things for a long time, and I'm not saying that trans people aren't oppressed. I'm not saying that, but I'm telling the truth of women, and for the entirety, for perpetuity's sake, right? We have been treated as property. We have been raped. We have been beaten. We have been abused. And I'm not saying that every man is an abuser and every man is a rapist. Shut up. But that is what has happened to women as a whole. And so we have fought. We have fought for our right to vote. We have fought for our right to have a credit card. And I heard someone say it, and it was not that we are fighting to not get married, but we are fighting for it to just be a choice that we have. We are fighting to not have to get married. Because we had to get married, right? We had to. We couldn't have a bank account, right? So getting Title IX in women's sports, it was a big deal. It was a big deal. And I don't know why people aren't talking about the fact that no one's talking about trans men in men's sports, because they're not talking about it because they don't think it matters, right? Because men aren't going to lose because women are coming in. And that's how they see it. They still see the trans men as women, right? That's also why no one's talking about trans men in bathrooms. I have a client with a trans daughter, and she made a great point. Take a whole bunch of transitioned men and put them in a bathroom and tell me that they belong in the women's room. But you're not going to do that because you don't see them as a threat, right? And that's another thing. I really wish that people that aren't women would take the idea of rape out of their mouths, man. It's the trans women. They just want to go in women's bathrooms and they want to rape. Listen. And then I heard on the other side, when it came to trans sports, right, that trans women not being allowed in women's sports was going to make it so women could be sexually abused and raped. And it would be because they have to check to make sure that we are women. Well, I've had physicals. I've had physicals in every year of sports because I played sports. I had physicals, right? I'm not saying it doesn't happen. But I am saying that they have put safeguards in place with the nurses so that women and children don't have these things happen, right? But I got to tell you that the idea that both of you are using the same thing to scare women. Both of you are saying that we are going to get raped and sexually assaulted. And the end and the beginning of those two situations are, it is men who rape and sexually assault us. Men don't want to be women. The idea that men are becoming women to rape us Come on. That's the same way that they used to say that gay people just wanted to be gay so they could molest children. No. It's men. I don't know why women go after students and then they marry them. It's the strangest thing. And I'm not saying women are innocent in this. I'm not. But, I was talking about this with this guy, and I'm getting off topic. So we were talking about trans sports, right? And, again, that was just my opinion. I'm sorry if it offends you. I'm sorry. But I do believe that women deserve to play in a sport where they are only women. It's just how it is. Men are, and it's not the thing like they used to, that whole high. Remember when they said that black people had an extra calf muscle and that's why they were more athletic? Racist, right? So I am just saying that men are physically, not all of them. I'm pretty sure I could probably beat Michael Cera up because he's a twig, but neither here nor there. So I'm talking to this dude about it, and he was like, you ever wonder what they're really distracting us from, right? And this is a guy who voted for Trump, and 100%, you're right, because now I am stuck on a vote that didn't actually do this, but for women to keep women's sports women. And God, we buried the lead, right? We went to the United Nations and we voted against making it so you could not attack a sovereign nation, right? We did that, the United States. We voted with North Korea. I don't understand. I am baffled. I don't understand how I can be in the same place with people that, like me and my sisters, same house, same parents, same high school, same neighborhood, right? 3 different people. I don't understand how I can be in a country full of Americans who know what they know about the superpowers, right? And they aren't talking about how we voted with North Korea and set it up. We're siding with North Korea and Russia, man. You know who did not? You know who abstained from voting on that? China and Iran. China and Iran said, no, thank you. We don't want to put our name on this. And we said, no. Oh, hi, big guy. This Chalupa Batman is an English bulldog. He farts all the time. All the time. My house smells like methane all the time. So I don't understand how. And I'm not saying that trans rights don't matter. I need you to know that. I am not saying that trans rights don't matter and it should be whitewashed. I'm not saying that black lives don't matter. I am not saying that immigration is not super important. I'm not saying any of that. God damn it, we're burying the lead, right? We're burying the lead. And I think one of the saddest parts about this, right, is there's nothing we can do. And the Democrats, oh, you nasty little, that ridiculous speech that Trump gave to Congress, and you know what, that was adorable what he did for that little boy with brain cancer. That was adorable. And Democrats, shame on you. You should have stood up. I understand what you were trying to do with your pink jackets. We wear pink on Wednesdays. I get it. I get what you were trying to do, and I'm super proud of the representative from Texas who got thrown out. Good for you for standing up for Medicaid. Good for you. But should have stood up for that kid. You should have stood up for that kid. You're jerks, because as a child with brain cancer, right? And you know what everybody sees now is a bunch of Democrats not standing up for a child. So you can talk about that narrative about how Trump did that very symbolic, sweet thing for a little boy with brain cancer, but he also cut funding to kids' cancer research. But no one's going to hear that because you didn't stand up. Now you're just the dicks, right? You're doing stuff wrong. You're doing stuff wrong. You're making the attention on how you guys are weak and how you guys always have the same narrative. You know what no one cares about? No one cares that Trump is a felon. 34, right? 34 felonies he was convicted of. They were business felonies. No one cares. Because here's how you know they don't care. Because he has been convicted of sexual assault. And they don't care about that either. They don't care. I've got 3 misdemeanors. In any other state, I would be a convicted felon. Maryland's got looser DUI laws than anybody else. I've got 3 of them. In most states, 3 DUIs makes you a felon. It doesn't make me a bad person. It doesn't make me a bad person that I've got 3 misdemeanors. I've been sober for 6.5 years now. People can change. Fun fact, people can also not change and never get caught. I can never drive for Uber. I can never drive for Lyft. I can never drive for DoorDash. Based on how much road rage I have, that might be a good thing. But I can't do that. And it doesn't matter how long I'm sober because all they see are the DUIs. But you can drink and drive every day, never get a DUI. You're putting everybody's life at risk, and you can fly a plane. Right? It doesn't matter. People can change. It's only what you've been caught doing. So that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that he's a felon. It doesn't matter that he hung out with Epstein. None of that matters. Y'all float the same narratives about this man. Nobody cares. You can talk about how this man is dismantling democracy. It bothers me. It bothers me that we are siding with dictators. It bothers me that because the Republicans have the House, we have lost that check and balance. It bothers me that they talk about how justices and the court system should not have any power. It bothers me that Supreme Court leans right, so we don't have that check and balance either. It bothers me that this man has said that you no longer have the right to illegally assemble. I'm assuming that you can do what the white boys down at UVA did, where they had a permit to have their march for white supremacy, back in, I don't even know what year that was, down at UVA, but they had a permit, so that was a legal demonstration, right? It bothers me that he's going after rights. It bothers me. I listened to a podcast today with Jon Stewart where he talked to a woman who was a reporter in the Philippines when they had the worst dictator of their country, and she was persecuted because she's a reporter, because she was telling the truth. And I find myself frustrated because nobody's telling the truth. It's all skewed, right? And I had people coming at me because of Zelensky, and I need you guys to know that if everybody jumps off a bridge, I don't think that you should jump off a bridge, but the rest of our allies, man, they are siding with Zelensky. We are wrong. And just because Donald Trump says something, it doesn't make it right. And it doesn't make the Democrats right. I'm not saying be a Democrat. F them. Weak. They didn't, God, man, and the good things they did do, they didn't talk about. They're weak. God, I love you, Bernie Sanders, but nobody listens to you, old man. God, I mean, they did so little for so long in the public that nobody cares when they talk anymore. I'm not saying be a Democrat. We got to do better than that, right? But we are on the wrong side of this with Zelensky and Canada. This cracks me up, man, going after Canada. And Trump said it before his inauguration, man. He said he wanted Canada, and he said he was going to get them with economic warfare, and what we are doing to them is not okay. And miss me with that. It's because of drug shit. Miss me with that, because that's a lie. It's like 0.2% of our fentanyl comes from Canada, man. That's a lie. It's China and it's Mexico. And as a matter of fact, Canada gets meth, cocaine, fentanyl, and guns from us. Right? And Trudeau, man, he even did this stuff that Trump asked about, tightening up the border and adding in helicopters. He did all this stuff he shouldn't have to do because they're not bringing drugs in here, right? They're not. I can't even go to Canada because I've got DUIs. 10 years. If they find out I've had a DUI and I go to that border, they turn me around. 10 years. They do not like stuff, man. We have added a tariff on... Do you remember? I used to call them America's hat. Mexico was our goatee. I don't know if you remember that, right? These are our allies. These are our people, man. And again, I'm not saying we can do anything, because we can't, because Democrats don't have any power. They can only do anything if they need 60 votes, right? That's how they shut down the trans bill, right, for athletics. But they can't do anything. They don't have any power. And Republicans, I got to tell you, Rubio, and JD Vance, and just you little beta cucks, man. All of you know what you're doing. All of you. And there are sound bites. There are sound bites, Rubio, with you talking about Putin and how we cannot let him succeed, right? And Hegseth. JD Vance, you no one's ever going to hear this. I don't know why I'm talking to them like they're ever going to hear this. This is not going to go viral. No one's ever going to hear this. JD Vance, you legitimately slammed Donald Trump over and over again, and you said you would never vote for him. You beta cucks. You beta cucks. That man got elected. You dropped to your knees, and you said, yes, I would love to swallow. Thank you. How about a rim job while I'm at it? All of you swallowed. All of you swallow it. And what bothers me is that the people that are going to suffer are the people who you're supposed to care about. And JD Vance, I got to tell you, I love the way you're fighting for the spotlight and attacking Zelensky. Here's the fun fact, is you're just the vice president. And just like people who were like, what has Kamala done? Nothing. She was the vice president. One of the biggest vice presidents we've ever had, Dan Quayle. Would you like to know why? Because I remember him. He misspelled potatoes. And Al Gore, bless that man. All I ever think of with him is man, bear, pig. I'm super cereal, man, bear, pig. Right? You're the vice president, little boy. No one cares about you. Sit down. Just sit down. But what bothers me is that people can't just say the truth, right? Because I don't know why. I don't know why people can't say that we're paying attention to the wrong stuff, or that, like, nobody even voted for Elon. And I get it, the man is rich. He is, in fact, the richest person on the planet. And he was flying with his mother in Air Force One. Now, I'm not mad at you. You know, you're basically holding the pocket of Donald Trump like in the prison yard, right? I get why you had access to Air Force One. However, we're talking about government waste. And the point of Doge, Charlie Sheen, the point of Doge is to find government waste. And everybody's on board with that, you know. I have said from the beginning, find the waste. Find it properly. Don't shut down programs that help people under the guise of finding misappropriated funds when you're not finding them, and then you're willing to spend our money on you and your mother in Air Force One when you are the richest man on the planet. That is my problem. The idea of Homeland Security spending $200 million on a commercial when you are talking about finding the misappropriation of the money that is the taxpayers' money, that is what bothers me. It's not that you did this. I'm not mad at you for looking for the funds. I'm mad at you for saying that you are looking for misappropriated funds and corruption, and you're shutting down programs that help people, and then you're spending it on waste of money. Why is JD Vance going skiing? Why? It's not like the Republicans are the worst. They have we've done the back and forth with politics forever. It's always gone Democrats, Republicans, Democrats. We always do this. It's not the end of the world. It never has been. But none of them are standing up for anybody. None of them. You know, that bill, the tax bill, budget, man. I said it on here a couple times ago, man. They are looking for trillions of dollars in tax breaks for billionaires. And I am not saying that they shouldn't do things for the people, right? I'm saying it again. No, they should not tax tips. No, they should not tax Social Security. And no, they should not tax overtime. However, these are billionaires. And why are we just rolling over and saying, yes, you're right? Why? This gets us nothing. It gets us nothing. And I don't know why we can't see that if there are not poor people, then there are not rich people. They need us to stay poor. They need us to stay right where we are. You know, these tariffs, the other countries are going to have an easier time boycotting our products. They just are. You know, he made this narrative that there was this terrible trade deal with Canada. Again, he set it up. And that it was wrong that we were beholden to them. The only reason why more money from us goes to them is because of oil. That's it. They are our biggest importer. They are our biggest importer. Like 70% of our exports go to Canada. And now they are unified because of the shit that man has been talking. And they will boycott us. So not only are we hurting ourselves with the tariffs that we have put on their goods, and it's awesome that he says that it's going to give us jobs, but there is not a steel mill waiting to produce the steel that we are not going to get from them. And in order to build up the lumber, we are going to have to tear down our own trees. I just, like, it's not an immediate fix. This is going to take years. And in the process, there will be inflation and we will suffer more. And in his address, he said, there will be inflation, but we're okay with that. Of course you are. It's not hurting you. You know, I don't know why. I says, it's that two things are true at the same time. It's the two things are true at the same time, right? Like, again, finding the money is a great thing, and rooting out corruption in DC is a great thing. But shutting down the SEC from looking into crypto, I mean, it was investigating a man who spent $75 million on Trump's coin, man. The Consumer Fraud Protection Bureau, they gutted it, and they were looking at tech. And that bureau, Warren, that was her baby, man. And they did good stuff. They really did. They went after healthcare companies and banks and credit cards. They went after the people who made us suffer, man. I don't know how many times you overdrew your account. When I was in college, cigarettes were $3. Shut up, I know I'm old. And I overdrafted with a $3 pack of cigarettes, right? And then I did it again and again and again and again. And that $3 pack of cigarettes cost me like $200 because they didn't stop charging my card. That's a consumer protection. That's what they did, man. You know, the EPA has just lightened the laws on waste dumping in water. I mean, we're just going to keep doing this to ourselves. And again, I know that there is nothing that can be done. I know that. Outside of the fact that we can keep talking about what's real. And I think, like, that's why that woman during the Philippines, during the dictator, like, she was persecuted, she was vilified, she was charged with crimes. And it was because she was a reporter who was speaking the truth. Now, I just don't know why people can't see that there is some truth in this, right? There's your story, my story, the truth. And in between these two parties of just jerks, there's truth. There's truth somewhere in the middle. There has to be, right? Because the Democrats are so pushed on putting down Trump and his people that it's almost laughable. You know, you can't take them seriously because all they do is talk trash. Shut up. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Nobody cared before. Nobody cares now. They don't care, right? But the Republicans, they are so far up Trump's ass trying to find his next colon that no truth comes out of them either. None. Right? And so somewhere in the middle is what should actually be truth. And somewhere in the middle has to be someone for the people. There has to be, right? We just have to stop focusing on the niche stuff. It has to stop being about me. It has to, and I'm not saying that trans rights don't matter. I am not saying that we shouldn't still fight for the immigrants, man. That's the idea that they're all criminals. I know great people. I know great people that have been here for decades. You know, the notion they ran under that one immigrant who raped the woman, and it shouldn't have happened. Deport all criminals. Don't let them in. You find out they got a criminal record, send them back. I don't care. Get them out. 100%. American men love to rape women. Happens all the time. Happened to me. Happens to 1 in 5 women, right? American men rape us all the time. Do something about that. Try having the narrative that it's not my fault because I'm in a skirt, but it's your fault for having the penis that you forced inside of me. Why don't we talk about that a little bit? You know, we have to stop. We have to stop focusing on the niche shit, man. We have to. We have to stop focusing on the small stuff and find the bigger picture during this. or at some point I think it's going to get out of control. And I just don't know how everybody can't see that there's something bigger. I just don't get it, man. I know people who want to move to Europe, right? I get it. I do. I've said it before. I get it. But here's the problem. Is say we do stay on the wrong side of this and we stay with Putin, right? And we stay with, I mean, China's a little mad at us right now for the tariffs, but I bet they get over it. I bet they get over it if we start doing ring around the rosy with them in North Korea and Russia, right? Do you want to live somewhere else that isn't one of us? I mean, I'm sure other countries are going to start making nuclear weapons again, because I would. I don't trust anybody in that group of people. We let our government get so broken. We let it just focuses so much on the self, man. It's defunding the police. That pissed people off too. And it wasn't about defunding them. It was about changing it. Mental health care is such a problem, and we go into everything fist raised. And I'm not saying all cops are. I'm not. Miss me with that too, right? I'm not saying that, but like, everybody's human and everybody's afraid of something. And I've been the person, like, you're never. I went to St. Croix one time and I was smoking a cigarette. Oh, I miss cigarettes. And this guy asked me for a cigarette. He was like, I want that. And I gave it to him. And my buddy was like, don't do that again. And I was like, what? And he was like, don't give them what they want. And I was like, man, I can handle drunk. I can't handle crazy. And so I gave him what he wanted, because he wasn't going to see woman. He was going to see person between him and what he wanted. And, I think that we just got so far. We just got so far from the point. And I don't know. Maybe I will end up running for Congress. We got to do something different, man. And again, not Republican, not Democrat. Maybe the not going to protest party. Something has to give. Because I don't like the idea of being this country. I don't. I saw a political cartoon the other day. Not a political cartoon. It was a float. It was in Germany, and it had a Russian bear raping Trump. And while that does amuse me a little bit, like, that shouldn't be how we're seen. And I didn't think that's how he would be seen, if I'm honest about it. I mean, I've never liked him. I've said that. I've never liked him. People that like him and voted for him are throwing all this shade out because Zelensky was a comedian. Well, Donald Trump was a reality TV star. He has no political background. Ronald Reagan was an actor. What do you want? It's not like the man is a bad. I mean, I don't know how we keep swallowing all of the propaganda on either direction. I can't say that everything I've heard is real. I can't say that. But you can't say that everything I've heard is false. I mean, I've had people come at me with all this negative stuff. I'm like, how is it that everything you read is real and everything I read is false? And we just accept that. Like, how is there no in the middle? Why does nobody ever look anything up, man? They just sit in their rhetoric of, this is what I heard, this is how it fits my narrative, and I'm going to go with this. That is ridiculous, short-sighted, and small-minded. And that is how we end up in situations like this. There's the new narrative of, you can't blame Trump for World War III when nobody went to war when he was president. Man, you know what? The Ukraine was 100% occupied his entire presidency. 100%. They took Crimea when Barack Obama was president, and they murdered people while Trump was president. And the idea that you can say, that Israel and Gaza, 3,000 years, something like that this is not, you can't blame that on Biden. And I mean, I'm not going to say that Biden was fantastic. Towards the end, I'm pretty sure he was, in fact, just a puppet. The man did do some good things, Inflation Reduction Act that got turned over immediately, and they had a tax break in there for people with health care, and the Republicans did not renew that. You know, people like to talk about how, well, the cost of eggs, and they didn't do it on day one. And, you know, Trump said he was going to do a lot of things the first day. Because that's Trump, man. He's a blowhard. He just always has been. He's a braggart. You know, he says the outrageous things. Maybe it's time someone else said the fucking outrageous things. Maybe it is time. Maybe it is time that someone else said the other things. Not to be offensive and not to be hateful and not to be ignorant, but because somebody else has to do something. Because we're sitting, hanging out with Putin, man, and I just don't understand. I just don't understand. I don't. Like that guy said, man, we're talking about trans rights, and could we be burying the lead, right? And Elon, he has gotten $38 billion in contracts since Trump became president, and he is trying to overturn a contract for the FAA with Verizon for new communications equipment, right? And he started doing it under the guise that the Verizon equipment was outdated and didn't work. And this is an upgrade. It's not Verizon's equipment have now. It's an upgrade. And it is a $24 billion contract that he now wants to be Starlink. And I got to tell you, man, doing stuff like that man, again, richest man in the world, right? Could give away all of his money to every single human. He could end poverty, and he would still never spend all of his money in his lifetime, right? So that contract that he is taking has direct effects on people's lives. And this is where I said it last time, man, we're dicks, and we're not thinking about any of our people. We're not thinking about Americans. We don't care, right? You got fired. Ha, ha. At least it was you and not me. And that's what you get, right? Your farm is going under. Ha, ha. Right? You can't afford your house anymore. Ha, ha. Right? We don't care about people. But that contract that he's taken from Verizon, that directly affects Verizon's employees. It affects their health care. It affects their pensions. It affects all of those things. And I know that. I know that for fact. Because their union has reached out to their workers to warn them that these could have detrimental effects. And that man is the richest man on the planet. He doesn't need that contract. He just wants it. And so the people out there, they don't need money. They don't need money. They're doing this all out of they're not. They're not, and you're naive, and you're an idiot. I learned as a bartender, man, my best tipper was this man named Alan, right? Alan, I think, worked at Kmart. And he came in, and when he had a $10 tab, I got a $5 tip. When he had a $12 tab, I got a $6 tip. That man tipped me 50% of every tab he had. Joe Schmo, who belongs to the country club down the street, his $100 check, I got $20. I got 20% across the line every time. Sometimes I get 15%. I blame that on them. I was a really killer bartender, man. I owned it. Rich people stay rich. They stay rich because they are not generous, and they always want more. Always. You know, the biggest house I clean, it's a beautiful house. And every Christmas, people give me tips for, it's like Christmas bonuses because I clean their house all year and, you know, I wipe their shit off their toilets. My biggest house, like 3 Christmases in a row. If I do something extra for them while I'm there that they ask me to do, every year. The rich want, they have their money, they keep their money, they get more money. This is not some kind of charity he's running. He's taking our money. He is taking our money. And again, find the money, find the corruption, find all that stuff, right? We just got to stop burying the lead. We got to stop focusing on this one. And again, trans rights matter. All rights matter. People matter. Like, if you call me a bigot, miss me with that. I'm not. I'm not a bigot. I'm not racist, man. I'm not any of the things that you might come with me at. But, like, one of my favorite podcasts is The Giggly Squad. It's got Hannah Berner. It's got Paige DeSorbo right there. 2 fantastically hilarious women. They're just best friends. And they got to do the Vanity Fair they got to interview celebrities before the Vanity Fair Oscar party, right? And they interviewed Megan Thee Stallion. And Hannah Berner, she got so excited. And she told Megan that she used her music to like hype her up before she got in a fight. She just meant she got it. She just meant that she used the music to hype her up. And Megan tried to change the conversation a little bit, and Hannah was just excited to meet someone whose music she has loved her entire life. And then the narrative online became how she is Hannah in just an interview where she was meeting someone that she idolized. Now it's a microaggression, and she had to apologize. And this is a narrative that is online when we have told the United Nations that we do not believe that it should not be okay to attack a sovereign nation. So while we're doing that, they're talking about a chick telling Megan Thee Stallion how her music hyped her up to fight. Lil' Kim's music, How Many Licks, a dirty ass song, right? I listened to that to hype me up before softball. Not a microaggression, right? I've never been in a fight in my life where I'd probably do that too. Nobody's Business by Salt-N-Pepa. Yo, I get down to that. It doesn't make me it's not a microaggression. It's not racist. It's none of that, right? She wasn't trying to do that. But that narrative is all over TikTok. And we literally told the United Nations that it was fine to attack a sovereign country. I gotta tell you, man, we are focusing on the wrong stuff. The wrong stuff. The wrong stuff. And we're listening to people. And I am the queen of, if you sell it, I will buy it. I am so easily persuaded. If I see a commercial for Taco Bell, I'm going to want it until I see a commercial for McDonald's. That's how my brain is. You tell me something long enough. Like, I bought all this face care. I bought all this face care because someone told me I needed it. I started washing my face when I was 40 years old. 41. Sometimes when I shower. I don't shower every day. I don't smell. I don't shower every day. I don't wash my face every day. I don't get acne. But I bought all this face stuff like it was going to change the world for me because someone told me to. We got to stop swallowing everybody's bullshit. We got to stop doing it, man. We believe everybody for no reason because they're famous. They're famous and they're rich and we don't matter. We don't matter. Are you rich? If you are not rich, you don't matter to them. And I don't know why people can't see that. I just don't. You know, I get it, man. The Democrats dropped the ball. And I'm not saying become a Democrat. I am saying we got to speak the truth for the next 2 years. We got to vote in people who are neither Republican nor Democrat. We got to get these people out of there, man. We got to fight for ourselves. We the People Party. Sleepy-Time Party. We're not going to protest party. We got to do something. And I definitely got to do something because I legitimately left my car on for an hour and a half while I cleaned somebody's house. You know, but we're all in the same area in our minds, man. We should be able to come to the same conclusions at some point. And everybody who voted for Trump is not wrong. And everybody who voted for Kamala is not right. But somewhere in the middle, man, we got to figure out something. People in charge could really ruin things, man. They could just... We got to use our brains and we got to sort through the your side, my side into the truth, man. We got to be smarter. We got to find people to run in 2 years for our local governments and for Congress. And we got to take everything back, man. We got to take it all back. I don't want to run for Congress. But, all right, guys. If you listen and you didn't get offended and you want to listen again, I mean, I don't think it's going to go anywhere. Most I've had like 500 views. It's not like this shit's going to go viral and JD Vance is going to get offended. You're a beta cuck. Beta little bitch. You and Rubio and all the rest of you assholes who are sucking down the truth just to suck on that tea. Bitches. Damn the man, save the empire. Wolverines, man. Wolverines. I appreciate you guys. Have a wonderful day.